Hi, my name is Drea.
So what are some of the things you like to do?
Smoke.
Smoke? Okay.
Stuff just happens. When I was little, I always felt alone. I swore my parents were a lot worse.
What's up, fans, folks, boys and girls all over the world? Welcome to the channel. This is Buildastarrtent Entertainment. I am your host, the Happy Hypocrite. So I decided to do a interview project with pretty much just interviewing whoever would let me interview them. As the interview goes along, occasionally I will interject and provide my 2 cents or my thoughts pertaining to statements that the interviewee makes. Without further ado, let's get cracking.
Hi, my name is Drea.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
And where do you live?
I live in Coconut Creek, Florida, but I was born in Margate.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I go to Atlantic. I go to college, and I'm not that interesting.
Everyone's interesting in their own way, aren't they?
Pause. So less than a minute and a half in, she states that she's not that interesting. Now, why would she say something like that? Personally, I feel in today's climate, the era that we live in, it's a social media dominated time that we live in. And through social media platforms such as Facebook, Clapchat, and also Instascam, people project a false persona and others believe it. You know, most of us three-dimensional thinkers or, outside of the box thinkers know that no one's happy every day. No one is always doing extravagant and, pretty much extracurricular things that keep them occupied throughout the day. The whole thing about life is it's monotonous. Yeah, you can do exciting things, but it's not going to take up a portion of your day unless you're just wealthy and you can afford to do these things. So, being that she's only 18 and she's looking at the world as pretty much a millennial, especially a socially interactive person with social media, because she is. She's seeing things on social media where people are pretty much presenting a persona or a false facade of being pretty much in a status that they're not actually in. You know, they portray things and they put out great photos of them smiling, you know, and some people don't know that it took them 40 photos to put that one picture out. But that's the time span that we're living in. That's the age that we're living in. An age of social media dominance. A lot of kids are on social media doing crazy things, you know, dancing in the aisles in Publix and Walmart, going in, getting haircuts, running out, smoking, drinking, twerking, doing these things. And maybe she feels like she's behind the 8 ball. Now, does she? I don't know. I'm just giving my take on the statement that she made. But let's proceed.
So what are some of the things you like to do? Smoke. Hey, yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay. Go ahead.
I like smoking, especially. I never smoke alone. Like, either I smoke with friends or I would call one of my friends. And even, like, they don't even care that I'm smoking. Like, we just talk and stuff. And I just listen to music. And I love listening to Lil Skies, specifically him,
right.
The rapper I told you about.
Right.
I love listening to him when I'm high. Like, I don't know what it is. Him and Kodak.
Him and Kodak Black?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. They set the mood, you know?
What mood is that?
Just happy.
Happy go lucky, anything's possible, it's just a good day, let's just vibe.
Yeah.
Nice. So, let me ask you.
Pause. Before we go any further, she said she likes smoking. I'll interject there. Look, it's a reason. Well, I paused with her tongue out, but it's a reason that I call myself the happy hypocrite. I can't belittle her or hold anything against her for smoking. I smoked for years and years and years. Especially at 18 years of age, in this era that she's in, smoking is pretty much second nature. Now, did people smoke when I was in high school? Yes, but I can almost guarantee that it's not anywhere near the percentage that it is nowadays. You know, nowadays you have different strands of marijuana to smoke. I mean, when I say different strands, like they have them like for everything. If you want to be laid back, if you want to be hyper, if you want to be happy, if you want to be sad and cry, different strands. But I would never tell any young person not to smoke. What I will do is give them a few pros and cons pertaining to smoking, and that's the least I can do, because inevitably it will be their choice. And if someone wants to do something, no matter what you say, you're not going to stop them. I learned that in life. Now, do I still smoke? No. I woke up one day and looked at the pros and cons. I looked at how long I smoked, where I was in life, and I said, you know what? There's better things I could be doing with my money. There's better things I could be doing with my time. And with that time that's allotted to me by not partaking in this, and I don't even call it a drug. Like, I don't feel marijuana is a drug because it's a plant, but the marijuana grown in lavatories, well, no, lavatories are bathroom, but lavatories, I feel is a drug. So if it's from the earth, I don't feel it's a drug. Now, even though I say that, I wouldn't advise anyone to smoke opium. Like, let's be for real. Even though I know, well, we won't even get into like opium and Asian people. Let's just leave that alone. But people do smoke it, but I wouldn't advise it. Just like I wouldn't necessarily advise smoking marijuana, but I won't tell anyone to stop. Once again, I'll list the pros and cons. Let them decide. Now, as a young lady who wants to get to a certain place in life and be prosperous and successful and happy, I would say you probably shouldn't smoke if you're trying to do these things and achieve these goals that you're trying to achieve. Smoking may deter you from doing that, but I wouldn't blatantly tell her don't, because I'm not her parents, for one. I'm not even an uncle looking over her. But as a human being, as a young lady trying to do something, and even a young man, I would advise against it. But let's carry on.
This, if you could describe yourself in 3 words, how will you describe yourself?
Alright. Outgoing, funny, and happy all the time.
Outgoing, funny, and happy.
Happy all the time.
Okay. If your friends could describe you in 3 words,
They literally tell me I'm like when it comes to my personality, the most common comment I get about it is me being funny.
Right.
And I don't even tell jokes. I don't know any jokes. I just talk.
So you're just naturally funny.
I guess. I'm only saying I'm funny because everyone else says I'm funny. But yeah.
No, that's cool. So what's your ethnicity?
Ethnicity, my mom is Venezuelan, my dad's Bolivian, and but I've been told that I have more of the Bolivian accent when I talk. They talk like soft.
Right.
They're not so quick like Venezuelans. They talk dirty. So.
They talk dirty?
They curse like every 2 seconds. Okay. But they talk like, like that. Like,
right.
I can't do that.
Okay. So are you bilingual?
Yeah.
Say something in Spanish. Whatever you want. You can do it. Do it, man. Do it.
I don't know. Everyone always, like, you gotta tell me something.
Say whatever you want. Whatever comes to your head.
Okay. Yo puedo hablar español. Yo puedo hablar español.
I speak Spanish?
I can speak Spanish.
That's what you said? Okay. How would you say, welcome to Buildastarrtent? Build?
I'm not
Okay.
If I hear it, I'll understand it completely, but you still have that learning phase.
So you're not necessarily fluent in Spanish, but you do speak Spanish.
Yeah, I'm fluent in understanding every single word.
Right.
But talking it, I forget words. Because you know how there's a word, but then you have to say it a different way depending on the sentence.
Right.
So, like I struggle in how exactly to say it in a certain sentence,
Right. Okay. That's
but
understandable.
besides that, yeah, I'm pretty much good. You can't talk shit behind my back in Spanish, that's for sure.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing to know. So, what do you want to be when you grow up?
From college, creative director.
And what is involved with that? What does that entail with being a creative director?
You basically help out, whether it be a fashion company or anything like that, you know how they would come out with collections?
Right.
You know, like spring collection, summer collection, winter collection. And they have to have a certain look and to bring out the collection and stuff and, you know, for their image. So I would help out with that on how they would bring out everything.
Right. Okay.
On the entire designs and stuff.
That's cool. That's a
Pause. Now, she wants to be a creative director. Now, you know, creativity is, I feel, a trait that people are born with. Whether it's an artist, as in music, whether a sculptor, whether a painter, sketcher, graffiti artist, a writer, whatever the case may be, I think that's a trait that you're born with, because I like to create and I'm a writer. That's what I do. I like to create things from scratch and say that it's mine. You know, it's something I did. It's something I built from the ground up. Just to give you an accurate definition of what a creator director does, let's see here. Creative directors are the creative leads at advertising and marketing companies, working with designers, artists, copywriters, sales teams, and marketers to provide a vision for products sold. Creative directors plan advertising, oversee the creative process, and give guidance to the creative people that work under them. They approve all work created by their staff and often directly with clients to present that work. Creative directors also follow the latest trends in design, advertising, and marketing, help attract clients, and hire creative staff. Now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is the BLS, the median income for creative directors in 2010 through 2011, of course, that's several years ago, but the median income was $108,260, or which is comparable to $52.05 per hour. So it is a good profession to go into. It will keep you on your toes. It will keep your brain active, give you new things to do. So I have no problem with that. Let's carry on.
I just don't want to sit behind a computer my whole life.
right.
You know?
You want to do something that's interesting.
I want to like have fun and stuff, even if it's like work or something. I just want to have fun.
Okay. What did you want to be growing up when you were younger? Did you want to be a princess, a ballerina?
Oh, you're talking about the kindergarten graduation thing when they ask, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, let me ask you this. Is being a creative director your dream job, something you've always wanted to do, or is there something that in the past you've always said, I want to be a singer when I grow up, I want to be an actress,
I never knew what I
model.
wanted. I never knew. I had no clue whatsoever at all.
So what makes you veer towards the creative director aspect of a career? Is it just the entertainment value as far as you're always planning something, you're creating your own projects, you're living life on the go?
No, I've on Instagram I found this lady who, she's a creative director. She literally has this clothing empire now, and she started off with like putting in like $1,000 towards it, and then grew from there. And now she's she's the CEO of it, obviously, but she's also a creative director for it, for her own company. And I really admired that a lot because, she gets to choose her own designs and stuff. I mean, it's also her business, but she gets to choose how everything looks. And I looked into it about the job and stuff, and it seems like a really nice and fun job to do. And I really admired how she was able to go from so little to such a huge company.
Right. Okay.
Pause. Now that's good. for every con I mentioned pertaining to social media, she used it in a way where she found someone to admire. The person that she found to admire happened to be a young woman, or, well, I don't even know if she was young, but she was female as far as gender. And she started off with little, invested money that she had in, as Baby D told it, or Andrea, I call her Baby D, you guys call her Andrea, whatever. But as she stated, she grew an empire. And Andrea looks up to her, someone starting from the bottom, like Drake's song, started from the bottom. Now she's there. So, I will say this, I look at social media different. A lot of people look at it as, putting out these pictures and, crazy things. I look at social media for truly what it is. It's the largest advertising and marketing firm in the world, and it's free to use. That's the difference between YouTube and the actual advertising and marketing firm. They do the same thing, but you don't have to pay. Of course, the likelihood of you being found on social media platforms, because they're all marketing and advertisement sites, it lessens because there are so many people using it. Where if you go to if you had a business and you go to an actual marketing and advertisement firm, it would be way more strict, obviously. Lawyers involved, things of that nature. You have to pay a certain fee to bring your business there, for them to pretty much try to brand whatever you're doing, whether or not it's your personality, clothing, shoes, if you're a creator, whatever the case may be. So that's how I look at social media. That's definitely how I look at YouTube more than any of them out there. I look at it as a marketing and advertisement firm, but it's a good thing that she has someone to look up to. But let's get back to the young lady here.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah. I never was so interested in a job like that until I saw what she was doing.
Okay.
Like, she inspired me a lot for that type of job.
Bingo, she was expired. Give that lady kudos, whoever started that company.
So were you born in South Florida?
Mm-hmm. I was born in Margate.
Okay. You've been here your whole life?
Yeah.
So, who do you currently live with?
My parents.
Your parents?
Yeah.
So,
Same place I always, I was born in the same neighborhood I'm in right now.
So you've been in the same bedroom forever?
Yeah.
Any siblings?
I have 2 older sisters, but they're like 40 or 50. Because my dad's really old and he was married before. But I don't even consider them my sisters. I consider them not even distant cousins, just distant relatives.
Right.
I don't even know what to
Barely
call
seen
them. Yeah, one of them was kind of close to me, but I see her once a year for Christmas or something. Not even Christmas, if she has a birthday or something. But the other one lives in Orlando, so I definitely don't see her,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna say that on camera.
No, I want to hear it. We want to know. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say I like her more than the one that's closer to me, by far.
Right. Okay. You just have more of a connection with her?
No, I just like her more as a person.
Her
She's just
character?
her character's better.
Okay. That's understandable. I mean, you can't, you don't like every family member, even though
Yeah,
you
I
know
connect with her more.
they're your family members. Okay.
If I actually saw her more often than I did now, I would actually consider her as a sister.
Right.
If we actually saw each other a lot more often, I would actually be yeah, that's my sister.
Okay. Do you date?
Yeah, but not right now.
No, right now. Why not? would say you know why you don't date. So
Stuff just happens.
what's happened?
I don't know, just stuff. Like,
If there's stuff that happened, that means what? There's things that stuff that happened in the past, obviously, with what? With past relationships.
I mean, my past relationships, they didn't even last for like 2 months because I would already be bored of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just break up with them. And my longest relationship was like a year and like 6 months. But I never really cared about staying that long with someone.
Okay.
Because I would just get bored really easily.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Do you get bored easily, like in things that you do, or in
I
just
guess
everyday
so,
life?
because I would like I've had 4 jobs so far, and I actually really liked all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like always at some point I'd be like I don't want to quit right now, so because it's the same thing, you know. But I would always stay just, you know, for the money, and like I know I'm not gonna be there my whole life anyway, so it's whatever. But yeah, I guess I do get bored easily.
Pause. Now, I'm not speaking about the boredom because everyone gets bored every now and then. But she's 18. She's a freshman in college, and she's already had 4 jobs. That, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but that's kind of a lot. Like, I don't even think I had a job until I graduated high school. So, you know, yeah, just the way I'm looking at it, like, my son had a job during his senior year in high school, but he was just doing that to save money before he went to college. And that literally was his only job. So now when he goes back home, he works at that same job that he had when he was a senior in high school. But yeah, like, you know, a lot of parents, well, I don't know. I can't say a lot of parents because let me not speak for everyone, but myself and my son's mother wanted him more to focus on school than getting a job trying to buy little miscellaneous things that mean nothing. So get good grades. You're trying to be a doctor, go off to school and accomplish your goal and stick to the plan. That was more of our thinking, but you know, everyone's different. Carry on. But
do you feel like life is boring in general?
No, not only if you make it boring.
Okay.
If you don't do anything.
So you try to stay active?
Yeah, I love going out. That's why, like, I don't know. I just always like talking to people because when I was little, I always felt alone. Because, like, you know, like, especially throughout elementary school, middle school, was when my parents were a lot worse. And
worse than what, lad?
My dad, he wouldn't, like, he would just yell at me for, like, I would, like, say I wouldn't even eat, like, you know how there's a certain way you're supposed to use a fork and knife?
Mm-hmm.
If I did it some type of way, if I, like, I'm talking, like, something super basic, he would throw everything. He would get out and he would just, like, leave the house or something and just yell, like, in my face and stuff for, like, just the smallest thing, you know? And that would happen either every other day or every day for, like, since I could remember up until middle school. And when I would go to school, I didn't have any friends because they would just bully me too.
You were bullied?
Yeah, like I would literally say hi to someone just to be nice. I was always nice. That's the thing. I was never a mean person. I was always nice. I would literally say hi to someone. They would just look at me and they would be like, "Why are you talking to me?" Like I literally didn't do anything. I don't even. And,
so Is this in elementary?
Elementary and middle school.
You were bullied.
Yeah, elementary up to middle school. It's not even just that, just, as an example.
Right.
But, so I never really had a escape. But school was considered my escape because it was better than hearing my dad yell at me all the time for like.
So even though you were bullied, school was still your escape.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I couldn't go anywhere because I couldn't really go anywhere anyway because my mom was still really strict about where I could go. And it was really hard because I had no one to talk to either. And then
Pause. Okay, let's look at what she just said. She was bullied in elementary, in middle school, but her safe haven was still the school because she did not want to be home with her father. Now, as we progress, you'll hear her speak about her family dynamic, and you'll come to realize why she did not want to be home with her father. But what does that tell you? What is it that was happening that was so bad at home where